Main theme of Governor Romney's election address, if that's what we're calling it right now, was that Donald Trump is downright dangerous because his policies aren't really policies at all.
His domestic policies would lead to recession. His foreign policies would make America and the world less safe. He has neither the temperament nor the judgment to be president, and his personal qualities would mean that America would cease to be a shining city on a hill.
It's a big attack. We're awaiting Donald Trump's official response, and we're looking forward to it to balance out our coverage today. We have some indication on the direction that Donald Trump might be going. Trump posting on social media the video of Romney praising him for his endorsement during the 2012 presidential campaign. Take a listen to that. Compare it to what Romney had to say today as well.
Donald Trump has shown an extraordinary ability to understand how our economy works, to create jobs for the American people. He's done it here in Nevada. He's done it across the country. He understands that our economy is facing threats from abroad.
His bankruptcies have crushed small businesses and the men and women who work for them. He inherited his business. He didn't create it. And whatever happened to Trump Airlines? How about Trump University? And then there's Trump Magazine and Trump Vodka and Trump Steaks and Trump Mortgage. A business genius he is not.
Jamie Weinstein is senior editor of the Daily Caller. Aaron Blake is a political reporter for the Washington Post. Nice to have you both. Jamie, to you first. How powerful is that contrast to see what Mitt Romney said in 2012 and see what he has to say now and wonder what impact it has?
Well, I remember when that endorsement happened in 2012, and I thought it looked a little awkward then, and I'm sure that Mitt Romney probably reluctantly accepted an endorsement of Donald Trump back then. He was, and certainly is today, a force within the Republican Party. But it's different accepting an endorsement than thinking that person is qualified to be president of the United States. You know, John McCain was endorsed by Joe the Plumber. I'm not sure he thought Joe the Plumber was qualified to be president of the United States. So what we saw today was Mitt Romney, maybe a little bit too late, trying to speak out against someone looks like he's on his way to becoming the Republican nominee, who he thinks is unqualified for the job.
Pick up off of what Jamie had to say, Aaron. Is it too late for Mitt Romney? Was there any time for this sort of comment in this campaign cycle?
You know, I'm not sure that it would have made a difference at any point. I certainly think it's probably too late at this point. But, you know, the Republican Party is really trying to have it both ways here. You compare Romney's comments today to 4 years ago, and it's clearly he's basically talking about a different person than he was 4 years ago. The Republican Party is denouncing Donald Trump, saying he would be an embarrassment in foreign policy, saying he would lead to a recession. But they're also saying, you know what, if he's the nominee, we're going to support him as the party's nominee. So I don't know how you can have it both ways, how you can say that his presidency would be such a disaster, and then also say that you'd back him in November if it came to that.
You know, I keep going back to this RNC report. I printed it out again because it's about 3 years since the day it was released after the Republicans lost the 2012 campaign. In it, one of the things that they talk about, Jamie, is letting the voters decide. We have to trust the voters. We cannot trust outsiders or activists or anybody inside Washington. We have to trust the voters. Well, what sort of message is it sending with Mitt Romney coming out and saying to the voters thus far, you haven't made the right choice?
Well, the argument would be from Mitt Romney and some people in the conservative movement, many conservatives, is the case hasn't been made to the voters. The voters don't know what they believe is to be the case, which is Donald Trump is a con man. That's like saying the voters aren't listening to, you know, aren't watching the debate. I mean, Donald Trump's getting attacked by a lot of people. We do have some evidence for it. We do have some evidence when voters are asked in polls, have you heard of Trump University? Have you heard of some of the other things that Mitt Romney said today? A lot of them have not heard of these things. They haven't heard of what Mitt Romney is calling kind of scam business operations that Donald Trump allegedly engaged in. So this message hasn't got out there. Will it work? Maybe not. Might not help the side that Mitt Romney is advocating for. Perhaps it will only propel Donald Trump supporters by portraying Mitt Romney as an establishment. But this message, according to that side, hasn't been heard yet.
Very interesting. You know, I wonder, though, again, how voters will take it, Aaron. As I'm looking at our social media feeds that are lighting up about this, a lot of strong opinions about whether or not Mitt Romney's comments will help or hurt Trump or the impact overall. Monica Crowley had something very interesting to say on our air earlier today. Let's take a listen to her perspective.
Looks like Mitt Romney, like the rest of the Republican establishment, still don't understand what is happening here. They still don't understand the power of the grassroots wholesale rejection of everything that Mitt Romney stood for, things that he ran on. The Republican Party establishment, they still don't understand how angry the base is.
What do you think about that?
Look, there is a big disconnect between the grassroots and the establishment. The pining for Mitt Romney to run in 2016 that happened in the middle part of last year, it was all coming from establishment types who thought he was a great candidate who simply didn't live up to his potential. The grassroots were always suspicious of Mitt Romney. It's the reason so many candidates took turns passing him in the polls in 2012. He is not a beloved figure. I think, you know, to some extent, he's throwing himself out there and kind of conveying a message that maybe other people can't. He does have some stature that the news media will watch what he's saying and will report on it, and he said it in very certain terms today. But I don't think that he speaks to lower income, less formally educated Americans who are making up the base of Trump support. And in fact, I think a lot of those people were reluctant Romney voters in 2012, and I think they'll look at him today saying these things and they'll say, you know what, the establishment is out to get our guy. They don't believe in what he's doing, and that's the reason I'm voting for him in the first place. Very
interesting. Will it backfire? And we're expecting to hear more from other known members of the Republican Party, but will it have an impact? It's a big question we're asking today, and we're looking forward to Trump's response in about 20 minutes. Nice to have you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you.